thinking maybe they were kidding.
All right, try this. Is this any better?
Can y'all hear him now? Can you hear me now? Test.
Okay. I think we're okay. I think my microphone was actually off. That would have been my mistake down at the bottom.
Monk says yes.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that. So anyway, we'll start over here. Again, a lot to talk about. That's what I was basically saying. Said I wanted to start off with Don Lemon. A lot of crazy things going on with that. And I wanted to say from the get-go, I do not believe and wouldn't be surprised if nothing happens to Don Lemon here. He's already been released without bail, and I'm sure that he's going to have to show back up in court, and he's going to have to fight this out. He's got a really good lawyer. It's going to cost him some money, but this will be a battle. We'll see where it goes, but don't hold your breath. Don't be surprised at all in any way or form if you don't see the outcome with this that you would expect. And then I was also saying, as I was apparently had my volume turned off to my own doing, that we're going to play a clip of him saying some things that I honestly believe that he's telling us and admitting that he knew about this, which I believe he did, and that he seems to know a lot about the First Amendment and all the other things that he can do because of the First Amendment. So he seems to know the laws as a journalist, because he's been a journalist for 30 years, that he should know about the freedom of access to clinic entrances, which is called the FACE Act. So I don't think he can play stupid in this. So that's what I was saying. I want to play this clip real quick, and everybody listen to this. Maybe some of you have heard it, maybe some of you haven't, but someone else had posted this on X. I downloaded it. So it doesn't have a marker on it on who did this or whose it is, but whoever it is, I'm telling you, thank you for this content. But check this out, everyone, and you make your own decision. We are all presumed innocent in this country until proven guilty, and we'll see all the facts come out, hopefully. But I see a lot of damning information in this. Again, I believe he knew what he was doing, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. But I could have my mind changed. We'll see. Check it out.
Let me do this. I can't see anything on that
That's okay,
side.
I got it. Just park. Just hit park.
Twitch, we're back. Sunday morning church.
Yeah, okay, we'll see. After we do this operation, you'll see it live. And these operations are surprise operations. Again, can't tell you where they're going. Okay, so I am going inside now. Where's my phone? I need my phone. Hey, Meta, record. So activists are now in the church. This is what the First Amendment is about the freedom to protest. I'm sure people here don't like it, but protests are not comfortable. And there are people here who I'm looking at a young man who's in the corner. He's frightened. He's scared. He's crying. People are leaving church. One of the members who looks to be really upset, a young person, the pastor is trying to calm him down over there. Perhaps they should come in, pray together, and talk together. But anyways, if I were the pastor, I would offer a prayer. I would try to calm things down and say, listen, talk to you. We're all citizens. We're all believers and Christians. It may look like MAGA coded, but there's a reason they have so many white people here. I'm just going to be honest. It's because of the operation that they're doing today. It's important to have allies, as they said, white allies here. So that is what I could say. I turned the camera off of them because they're giving some critical information here. But there we go. Everybody's ready to go.
I don't necessarily agree with everything that's going on in the Twin Cities right now, but I don't think it's good to fight fire with fire. I think it's good to speak up, and I think it's good to protest, but I think it's better to do it in a peaceful way. I don't think the answer is going into God's church.
You don't think this is peaceful?
Well, it's trespass.
Nobody fighting.
It's trespass.
I mean, this is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship.
But there were folks who will say,
I have to take care of my flock.
Okay, but listen, we live there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest. I'm surprised that law enforcement has not showed up yet. We're going to take you outside of the church. What do you think of
Just
this?
a harmless Christian here that wants to praise the Lord with my son, and now I got to go home.
Yeah, that was interesting to watch. This guy here, look, he's hugging his kid. And, you know, I've imagined it's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here. But again, careful, it's very slippery right here. Yeah. It's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here, but that's what really, careful, please, really slippery. Not kidding. That's what protesting is about. And so.
No, Don, that's not what protesting is about. And I'm sure that I saw some comments come up in the chat, turning the volume up on my end. But he used the word operation. That tells me that he knew from the get-go that he knew what they were about to do and what they had planned on doing. So to me, all of that stuff, he told on himself. He gave up very, very pertinent information about what they were there to do. And then I saw RC mention allies. Well, there's a reason why there's white people here, because we're at a white church. And make no mistake about it. If we, and I say we as white people, would have done that to a black church, what do you think would be happening right now? It would be completely the opposite. Don Lemon knew, again, my opinion, Don Lemon knew exactly what they were there to do, and he was making a mockery of the children who were there, who were scared, who were taking or trying to find comfort with their parents. And it was the way he said it. It was just mocking. I hope that he gets everything that he's got coming to him. Again, I truly believe, in my opinion, that this man knew exactly what he was doing, and he broke the FACE Act. All you got to do is, it's very easy to go download this whole thing. And I can tell you right now, the journalist cannot legally interrupt a church service in the United States. That's what the law says. The freedom of the press under the First Amendment does not grant a right to disrupt private religious gatherings, even if the intent is to report on events. And that's what he said he was there to do, following a group of people. But you knew about the operation. You knew what they were there to do, but yet you still went in and you supported it and you participated in it. Churches and other houses of worship are private property, not public forums. Now, I did hear, I don't know if it was Don or someone else who was there. Maybe it was at Harvey Levin, the nut job from TMZ. Somebody was making the point that, well, it's public property and churches want people to come into their house of worship so that they can, you know, bring them into the flock, blah, blah, blah. That's not what happened here. And even though it is open to the public, if you want to go in and participate and you want to worship, but you have to do it in a peaceful way. You can't do it to disrupt. And we're not talking about just a couple people, maybe someone who's lost their mind, it walks in, but regardless of who it is or what it is, the moment you say, please leave, and you don't, now you're trespassing and you're still not following orders. That church can have you removed and they can ask you to leave. Don Lemon didn't leave. Neither did the other people that were a part of his journalistic so-called party, our group. And to me, they broke every law that can be thrown at them. And I hope that it is. That's enough of this. This guy's he's a real gem. We'll just call him a real jerk. But again, if you want to read up more on that FACE Act, please do so, because there's a lot in there and explains it. And it does have a lot of information in there. And this was put together especially for the pro-life people who were going to like the Planned Parenthoods and everything, so that things, they couldn't go in and do different things and harm anyone, blah, blah, blah. But it also goes into places of worship and all of that. So check it out. Hey, I see that dumb construction worker's in here. He finally made it. Yes, I see Deanna's in here. RC. Yeah, Lemon is a real gem. There's no doubt about it. Hey, Monk, what's going on? Tell the wife we said hello if she's not able to listen to us. See Joe's in here. But anyway, if I went all the way back up in the chat and says, Lou, you're muted, bro. Yeah, we figured that out. So again, yeah, Don Lemon, he knew exactly what he was doing. And I am not buying this for a minute that he didn't. So what was some of the other breaking news now that we got out of that? Some crazy stuff that we need to talk about that I didn't even have planned for the show. But we're going to jump into this. I got another clip. It's a little bit long, but we're going to try to fly through these. And this is pretty sick stuff. And I'll comment more about it when we get through it. I'm going to drop myself down off the screen and play this because it's one of those goofy TikTok, Facebook things. It's vertical instead of horizontal. So check this out.
I thought of something good. I think it's something weird spot. Sabotage tactic, or at least scare tactic. All the medical providers, grab some syringes with needles on the end. Have them full of saline or succinylcholine, whatever. That will probably be a deterrent. Be safe. Okay, for today's resistance tip, I vote, anybody got any poison ivy, poison oak in their yard? Get some of that up with gloves, obviously. Get it in some water, like a gallon of water. Get the poison ivy oak water, and I'm gonna put it into a water gun. Aim for faces, hands. All right, the single ladies where these ice guys are going have a chance to do something, not without risk, but could help the cause for sure. Get on Tinder, get on Hinge, find these guys. They're around. They're an ice agent. Bring some X-Lax and put it in their drinks. Get them sick. Nobody's gonna die. Just enough to incapacitate them, get them off the street for the next day. Highly easily deniable. You could get sick too. Won't eat there again. I'm just saying, let's get them where they eat. Somebody's not going to be supporting these guys. Where's the hotel where they eat? Who makes that breakfast? Let's find them. Let's make their lives fucking miserable. I know we're already trying to keep them awake all night. That's good. Anything you can do to make the living conditions bad. Talk to the people who work at the places where they are. Come up with some ideas. Dead fish. Somewhere in the room hidden. Just stay toxic.
Work.
Yeah.
Filming that.
Yes, that's Melinda. And I believe her last name was Cook, if I remember correctly.
Wow.
But that's Melinda Cook, a healthcare worker at VCU Health. She posted a series of videos encouraging people to inject ice agents with all kinds of nasty stuff, a temporary paralysis, or even paralysis drugs, and spray poison on them. She also encourages women to go on dates with agents and drug their food. This is the very essence of demon.
Yep.
This is a demon. This is someone I would not even want to go to a hospital. Can you imagine going to a hospital and having something wrong with you? And maybe you got a shirt or a hat on that says MAGA or something that they don't approve of. And then your life, your health is in their hands. And if they have to put you under, are you going to get the best care? Or if they have to do any kind of procedure on you, or are they going to do it or even care if they do it correctly, or if it's done, in a clean and sterile environment? This is why people like me don't even want to go to the hospital anymore. And you don't trust doctors because We went through this with COVID. Everyone said, you got to get the vaccination. And if you don't have it, we don't want you in our hospital. So then you go to the hospital, they find out you're not vaccinated, and maybe they just shoot it in you anyway. Yeah, it sounds crazy. It sounds like someone's going off the deep end, but in this day and age, do you truly believe in everyone who works in these hospitals after what happened during the COVID pandemic? And after hearing people like this, knowing that these are everyday people that you probably come in contact with and don't even know it, and they have these kinds of attitudes toward you because you believe and think differently than they do. Now, I can tell you, I've said this many times on my show before. If I saw someone who was broke down on the side of the highway, and especially in this cold weather that we have here now, because it's literally freezing. Within 30 seconds to a couple minutes, you could be numb. But if I seen somebody broke down and they had Biden, Harris, wall stickers all over the place on the back of their, bumper stickers and whatnot, and I saw that they were broke down and had kids, we're going to stop and help them. And I'm not going to say a word to them about, oh, so you're a supporter for the Socialist Party, huh? I'm going to do what needs to be done. I'm going to get that family back into a warm vehicle and get them rolling on their way. I'm not going to sit there and say, ha, 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 I hope all of your little demon rats and you and your wife freeze to death out here because of what you think. Who does that? Who does that? And if you do and you think that way, then you're no better than they are. You don't deserve any better than they do. So why would you, just because ICE is out there doing their job, trying to clean up our republic because the last administration did everything in their power to destroy it, and now you're going to turn around and you're going to try to bring harm on someone, again, because of their political beliefs? Yeah, that's pretty sick. So the last I heard, she definitely has lost her job. She's been fired. And I think, I don't know how it was worded, but they did, she has to go up in front of the board, but she had her license either paused or suspended, her nurse's license.
That sucker should be revoked.
Yeah,
There's
I think
not
it
even
should
a
be
question.
revoked, or maybe that was the word. I don't know. But I don't feel sorry for someone like this, to the point that it's a very serious thing to say something like this, especially going public with it. And this isn't just like, like me. I've said this before. I could be going down the road and see the same bumper stickers that I was talking about, and they're just driving down the road, and I'll see it and kind of just go, and I'll just chuckle, and that'll be it. It's not going to ruin my day. I'm not going to flip them off and give them the bird. I'm not going to do any of those things. I'm just going to go on about my day. And I said, yeah, I saw a car that had this all over it today. Yeah, that was funny. I disagreed with them, but that's where it stops. But I'm not going to wish any kind of harm on them or entice anyone or encourage them in any way to do something, to put something in their drinks, their food, into their IV drips, whatever. That takes a sick person. And that person shouldn't be working in the medical field whatsoever around people. No different than a child care worker or someone at a daycare anywhere who slaps or beats kids. Once that has been found and it's on video, see what I mean? She's over there playing stuff during my show. But so they should even, once they're found and they're on video, these people should be removed from that profession in all manners, shouldn't even be anywhere near it. So again, I can forgive people. We should forgive people, but that doesn't mean that you need to be around these kinds of people. So anyway, we're going to watch this story. Shame on her. I hope she gets what she deserves as well. And I do want to back up real quickly. I saw Joe commented on something, and so did Monk. For both of you, yes. When I made the comment about the churches being public, what I was saying is they're open to the public to come in if you just want to come in during a service. So in other words, while there's a mass or a service going on, you can go in normally. A lot of places are locking their doors once the everything starts. But if it's one of those churches where you can just walk in and worship with them, they're going to gladly accept you, is what I was saying. But yes, they have the right to remove you it is private property, and there either could be elders, the Catholic Church, whatever denomination you are on or in. Yes, they have the right to do that. So just wanted to shore that up. All right. So that was the other crazy thing. And whatever you're doing over there, because I can see them in the chat, get away from the buttons. I'm going to take the soundboard, computers. I'm taking everything away from her. Oh my gosh. She is sabotaging my show. Oh my
Damn near fell out of my chair.
She's over here falling out of an office chair. What? I don't know what she's doing. I'm totally lost here.
I haven't had a drop to drink.
Yeah, she hasn't drank anything. She don't drink, so I don't know. All right. Here's the other thing. I want to touch on this, and we're going to get into the meat of the show and what it was supposed to be about. I already did touch on the VCU nurse that got fired, but that was one of the three top things. But we're going to talk about Pretti, and we're also going to be talking about Elian Omar. But first, I want to talk about the protesters. I'm a little confused right now, to be quite honest. I saw some of the protesters up in New York. I seen some in Minneapolis. And we were sitting there and, again, having dinner. And that's when we kind of catch up with the five to see if there's anything that's maybe some breaking news, some stuff that happened throughout the day. Because she's usually homeschooling the children. We have one sick one, but he kind of, the middle, Louis, he kind of goes into the living room and does his work in there. And then we let the other two come in to the kitchen area on the table where they're doing the schoolwork. So we're not always able to have, the news or politics going at all times. So we're watching the five and listening to this. And I was looking up and I was looking at all these protesters. And I'm like, okay, so they're protesting ICE. They don't want their neighbors disappeared and snatched up off the streets and whatnot. And so I'm thinking about all this, and then it didn't register at first. I just seen this blob of people, hundreds of people. I don't know how many, hundreds, thousands, whatever's up there. And then it dawned on me. I started seeing flags again. And I looked at the flags, and at first I was like, Somalian. And I said, no, that's not Somali. That's Palestinian flags. That's the flag for Palestine. And I'm like, okay, now I'm really confused. So what have we done? We're up there protesting that we want ICE defunded. We want ICE gone. It's F ICE. It's ICE out. It's all these different sayings, all these signs and all these people. And now I'm seeing Palestinian flags and all kinds of other things that don't even pertain to what they're supposed to be protesting about. So if it's about ICE and I see Palestinian flags and other stuff, aren't these the same people who are claiming that the economy is really bad and they keep taking off work? I mean, day after day, but the economy's so bad they can't afford anything. Well, how are you going to afford anything if you're never working? Now, maybe you have a bunch of paid time off, PTO days or sick days, whatever you call them, or vacation days, and you're still getting paid for it. I don't know, but it seems like an awful lot of people across the country, from the West Coast to the East Coast, that you all got a lot of time on your hands. But yet you're the same group of people who are going to tell everybody that prices are too high. But yet, I guess you're not smart enough to figure out that when things get a little bit tough, and they do for everyone, some for different reasons, whether you have, whether it's physical or any other, just a loss of a job or an industry that's gone under, whatever the case may be, you have to live within your means the best you can. That's how we've all survived. When we went through rough times, if I can't afford steak, I don't buy steak. I buy bologna, what we used to call poor man steak, Spam, rice and beans. You live within your means if you have to, until you can get past that roadblock or you get into better days. We talked about this on the last show. Eggs are down, milk is down, gas is down. Tammy and I were talking about this the other day. If you take the price of gas, I can't remember what I got. I got 5, 10, 15. I got somewhere around 15 gallons. I don't know. It was only 20 something dollars. For 15 gallons. I got some in the side by side the other day when I went out to the farm. and put some in 2 gas cans, 2 5-gallon gas cans. And it was only like 20 something dollars. And I was thinking to myself that we're down to around 230 something or whatever it is a gallon. And just a year or more ago, it was almost $4. I would have paid $50 for the same gas. So then I take this and I'm thinking in my head as I'm talking to Tammy and I go, okay, so I'm retired. She owns her own business. But if we were a family, even if one of us had to get in a car every day and drive any distance, let's just say 20 miles, 40 miles round trip, and then we started adding up that fuel, well, guess what? Now that it's dropped down to, less than half of what it was and more in most cases, all of that money, that could be hundreds of dollars a month. And then it adds up and it's thousands of dollars a year. What were you paying for eggs? Everybody wants their eggs, so they go pay $4, $5, $6, dollars a carton for a dozen. And now it's down to 2 and 3 or whatever it is now. It's a lot cheaper. All of that money's right back in your pockets. But nobody wants to talk about that. And gas is a big deal for a lot of people. Okay, so is insurance, but insurance is not going to get any better. And I'm going to segue right into that. Do you not think that by you going out into Minneapolis, just like you guys did back in the George Floyd times, just like they did on the East Coast, the Summer of Love, you tore up government buildings, you tore up private property. You're starting to do it again. You have been doing it. What do you think is going to happen? Those of you who are complaining about everything being higher, what happens in the insurance industry when they start getting a bunch of these claims? Hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars. Guess what? I pay for it when my premiums go up. You pay for it when your premiums go up. Is it right? No, I shouldn't have to pay for what other people do. I shouldn't have to pay for other people having car accidents. I don't even know if the last time I even had an accident. I don't even have a speeding ticket on my record. I have nothing on my record, but I feel I paid too much for everything. And especially when it comes to homeowners insurance and all of that, we go around and we shop around, we do bundles, we unbundle. Whatever's going to give us the best deal to save us the most money is how we approach it. It's that simple. We all have to do this. So my point is, these protesters, you're out there tearing everything up, but yet you're complaining about prices being higher. You contradict yourself constantly. And that's why we never take you seriously. You are a fool. That's it. You're a fool. Nobody is ever going to take you serious. You're a big joke to everybody. And now you got the kids walking out of school. How many places across the United States, if you go look, you can look on any show that has a report on how the kids are doing in school, the reading, writing, arithmetic, all of that stuff. They're all far below where they should be in the educational spectrum. But yet, we're going to involve them in stuff that they know nothing about because they haven't lived life. And we're going to let them walk out of school and demand that people aren't taken off the street like some Gestapo or the Nazis back in Nazi Germany. This is what we have our kids in school believing, grade school and high school, that the government and the Gestapo is literally here. The Nazis are here in the United States of America in 2026. 250-year-old country, our constitutional republic, and guess what? We're full of Nazis. That's the other thing I saw today. Someone said that I saw a sign in a protest today that said something about the other bad invasion. They were talking about Nazis and stuff and different things happening throughout our history. Was in 1492, the people who come over to the North American continent, that was another unwanted invasion. So not only are we talking about Nazis and white supremacists and all these other things that these protesters and, save the Palestinians, blah, blah, blah. Now we're talking about the Native Americans, the American Indians, who are saying that we're on stolen land. I can't even keep up with these people. What's that drug we have to give the AJ all the time when she gets sick?
The motion sickness. Dramamine.
Yeah, Dramamine. I feel like I got to take some of that because my head's spinning constantly. It's like, and I can't even keep up. It's not even as bad as squirrel. It's like, it's 100 squirrels. You're looking everywhere. So these people have no idea what they're even doing. So if they want to deport illegals, some say just deport the worst of the worst because they pay taxes and they have families and they're our neighbors. They haven't committed any crimes except for coming here illegally. That's another one of their excuses now. And it's been that way. They keep saying this. Some even say it's not their fault. They were invited here by Biden's administration. So yeah, I'm going to say that both sides, Biden and the illegals, broke our sovereign laws. I don't care if you came here. Well, let me rephrase that. I do care. But what I'm saying is I don't care if you're going to use the excuse, well, they came here illegally, but they didn't do anything after that to break any more laws. It doesn't matter. They don't belong here. And I don't care if they've been here 4 years now and they came in here illegally. And if they're paying taxes, whatever the case may be, they don't belong here. They have to come in the correct way and build it up. If I had my choice, I would be on an elite shooting team out doing competitive shooting or something, okay? Or I would love to be a Delta Force guy, or I'd like to be SEAL Team 6 guy. I want to be on this team that's really big and heroic and famous and has lots of valor. But yet, I can't just go join that group that I would love to be a part of. You have to work your way into it. You have to earn it. You have to be eligible. You get that? Whatever it is that you want in life, you can't just go somewhere and do it. Go to some of these other countries and they will throw you in prison. And hopefully, if you do that, at the worst case is they just throw you back outside of their borders. So they do take their sovereignty very seriously. You don't have the right to come into a sovereign country like the United States of America just because you feel you want a better life. I get it. I understand. I have compassion. I have empathy for people who live in conditions well below poverty. I get it. I understand that. But it doesn't mean that you have the right to come into my home, which is my physical home, and do whatever you want for free, or have me take care of you against my will, nor my country. Okay? It's not right. And if they came in, as you say, invited by Joe Biden, that's the very reason why I voted for Donald Trump, because I wanted all of these people back out. So if you're thinking that we should be just going after the worst of the worst, you and I are on the same page. But if you are stopping short of saying that, hey, guess what? I don't want the other people to go because they're kind of my neighbors and I kind of got used to them, but they are here illegally. No, I want them to go too, unfortunately. That's just the way it is. It has to be that way. We have laws for a reason. Because if you and I had gone out and just broken, I don't know, pick a law, we're going to pay a fine. We might do a little bit of time, restitution, whatever it is. We have to do something. We get penalized. And that's just how it works. And I'm tired of hearing this, well, you can't take the kids away. You know, you're taking them to detention centers. They're not taking people's kids away and taking them to detention centers just because they want to. They're doing it because you're here illegally. You're a really bad hombre. And guess what? You don't have the right to your kid. And if you think that you have a right to your kid, then now you're telling me you're illegal in my country. And not only that, you have more rights than American citizens, because if I get pulled over with a DWI in the state of Missouri, I go straight to jail. You get that? I don't get to pass jail. I get to go straight to jail. And when they lock me up and my kids are in the back seat, hopefully Tammy's not with me. They're going to call her and say, hey, your husband's drunk. We're taking him to jail. You better come get your kids, or we're taking them. Same thing happens to me, and I am an American citizen. You do not have special privileges. You don't earn, you haven't earned them. You just don't belong here. It's that simple. So I'm tired of you socialist Democrats trying to make us feel bad when you brought this problem on our country. You guys did this to our country, and now it's up to us to try to figure it out and clean it up. But yet we're the Nazis. We're the white supremacists. We're the crazy people here. We're the Gestapo. We're the ones that are running roughshod over American cities and snatching people up and disappearing them. I never heard of such stupidity. Maybe Omar should go back to Somalia. That's where people really get disappeared, and how they brutalize women over there and Christians and everyone else. We don't want to talk about that, though. We want to come here and blame Americans, the same American people in the same country that welcomed a lot of the immigrants that came in the right way. We welcome them with open arms, but yet we're the bad guys. Don't fall for that nonsense, because we're not the bad guys. We never have been the bad guys. Well, there's been a few occasions we've done some stupid bad things as a whole, our government, but our people have always been really good. I truly believe that. And the other thing, and I've already touched on this, all of these things that I've talked about was insurance, medical expenses, hospitalizations. Everything goes through the roof when we have all of these people in our country. There's a lot of times we can't get into an emergency room because they're overwhelmed with people who don't even belong here. And we have to cover that. They can't turn them away. God forbid you turn somebody away. And I really wouldn't feel comfortable, turning a family away. They're human beings. I get it. But should I be paying for that? So there's a difference between giving and being good to others, as opposed to being forced to do it by a government or anyone else, especially the politicians who are out there. So again, I don't know what these protesters are doing. I don't understand it. I really don't care. All I can tell you is that they're wrong. And right now, I think it's more of I would say an organized. And I don't believe that it's all organized. I believe a big portion of it is, and I believe a big portion of it is funded, but I don't believe that all of it is. I think some of it is organic. And I also do believe that there are peaceful protests going on out there, but I also know that there's a lot of protests out there that aren't peaceful, and that's where they're crossing the line. Now, is there going to be a few ICE agents, a few Border Patrol agents, or law enforcement in general that are maybe going to lose their temper because they got lots of pressure on them, which is really unnecessary pressure? Yeah, that's probably going to happen, because guess what? They're human beings. And they want to go home to their families, and they got a lot of pressure. They got people cursing at them all day, people spitting on them, throwing bottles of urine and rocks and all these other things at them just because they want to do their job. And it's hard to believe that we're talking about the same country, the United States of America, our constitutional republic. When I look out there, I would have never guessed that we would see something like this. But I guess maybe I was just a little bit too young to remember all of the craziness and the chaos from the Vietnam protest and whatnot. But I mean, it's not like this is unique. We've seen these kinds of things throughout the decades, but it just seems like it's progressing. It seems like it's getting much worse, and it's expanding deeper and deeper into our culture, into our children and everything, which is really crazy. So anyway, am I missing anything in the chat at all? Anything that anyone's asked or brought up? Because I'm not in the chat. I'm just doing my thing. All right. So
they's all just chatting away.
All right, cool. Got one more clip here, and I'm sure that everyone has seen it or has seen this or heard about it, but it is important. As much as I did not like this man, Barack Obama, he was in again, my opinion, what happened with Ferguson, Missouri, and Michael Brown, and the hands up, don't shoot lie, and all of the things that happened here. He set the relations between, I would just say the relations for the Black people. He set it back many, many decades by the things that they lied about and let happen. And they made it seem as if, the police officer actually did something wrong by shooting Michael Brown and all of that. But outside of that, Obama and Michelle Obama were very unappreciative of the United States of America. Look at how rich they are now because of the United States. 2 terms back to back, he was made president of the United States. A black man. I guess you could say a white man because his mom was white and his dad was black. So I don't know why in those situations. Maybe it's because the male that they always recognize themselves, because if my dad was black, then I'm black. Or maybe if his dad was white and his mom was black, he would have said I'm a white man. I don't know how that works, but we could say he's half and half. So he's a, what is that half and half drink? Don't they sell it in a carton, like half and half?
Oh, well, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
it or a twist. We always get a twist. Ice cream cone. It's chocolate and vanilla mixed. So there you go. We'll just call him a twist. But anyway, talking about immigration, back in 2010, even President Obama shoots down the whole stop deportations and just let the illegal immigrants be argument. Check this out. It's astonishing that we don't, play this enough today and throw it in their faces so that they can see how foolish they really are today. Check it out.
There are those in the immigrants' rights community who have argued passionately that we should simply provide those who are illegally with legal status, or at least ignore the laws on the books and put an end to deportation until we have better laws. And often this argument is framed in moral terms. Why should we punish people who are just trying to earn a living? I recognize the sense of compassion that drives this argument. But I believe such an indiscriminate approach would be both unwise and unfair. It would suggest to those thinking about coming here illegally that there will be no repercussions for such a decision. And this could lead to a surge in more illegal immigration. And it would also ignore the millions of people around the world who are waiting in line to come here legally. Ultimately, our nation, like all nations, has the right and obligation to control its borders and set laws for residency and citizenship. And no matter how decent they are, no matter their reasons, the 11 million who broke these laws should be held accountable.
Now, why can't we stand him up right next to Donald Trump at the White House right now? I would be all for it if he would say that, do that same speech all over again, right next to Donald Trump right now. What is any different between that was 15 years ago? And he's talking about 11 million. We don't even know how many millions of people are truly in our country illegally. That's how sad this is. There's been numbers thrown around of 20 million. I think it's higher than that. And while I'm listening to him say all of this, because I've already heard it, but it just amazes me. Each time I hear it, it's almost as if it's like something new, that he doesn't sound any different than what we're saying right now. And yet he's a Democrat and he hates America. But yet that all made sense. That was all perfect. I couldn't argue that point. If someone would have just showed me that clip and I knew nothing else about him, and they said, what do you think he is, party-wise? I would have said he's either old, when I was a young kid, Democrat Party, or he's conservative, Republican, something along those lines. I've said that 100 times on my shows. There was a time you couldn't tell them apart, except for just a few little things in the policies that they believed in. But that's amazing. So for all of you socialist Democrats out there who are trying to destroy our country, think about what Obama said back in 2010, and think about what Donald Trump is saying now and what he's trying to do. He's trying to make your country better. He's trying to make your country safer. And all you want to do is hate him and try to destroy him. And some of you want him dead. Why? Doesn't make any sense. I'll tell you why before I let you go on, before I lose this train of thought. These people, the Socialist Democratic Party, they do not want their voting base removed. They know they're losing this battle. They know that the more we remove, the less opportunity they have to get seats in districts across the country where when the census is coming up, when it shows more people in certain areas, they get more Democratic seats. That's what is behind all of this. There is no other reason that you can make me understand or believe. Nothing else would make sense except for the fact that they want more people in here that are going to support them, because no one else would let anyone else in their personal homes, their personal lives, to do whatever they wanted, free of charge or whatever, or take care of somebody just because. There is no other explanation. But anyway, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, if they want to stand out there and protest and say that what we're doing is wrong, I think it's an automatic sign up that they should have to go to the police station. And every time one of these illegals gets released from jail back out onto the streets, they have to take one of them home. Sight unseen. You have no idea what they got arrested for.
Yeah.
But now you have to take them home into your home with your family and your children.
Feed them.
And feed them and house them and trust that you're going to come out alive.
Yeah. And don't lock your doors.
Yep.
And just
when they want to bring people over, when they want to bring their crew or their posse or their friends or their family or the rest of their gang, literally their gang, over, you have to let them in.
Yeah.
And they can do whatever they want. And it's your responsibility to clothe them, feed them, make sure they have everything that they need, the cell phones, the hospital bills, anything they need.
Yeah. They have access to your bank accounts, your ice box, your freezers, whatever it is. You go to the grocery store, you bring food home for them as well.
Absolutely.
That's why I said it earlier, is that I get that we should share what we can with others who are in need and all of that. I get that. But when it's forced upon you, it's not the same. It has to come from you. You have to want to do this. I don't want to do this to my country, and I don't want to do it to my home, because then it would change everything. All the financials, everything in your household would change, even by bringing one person in. And people don't realize this because they're knee-jerk reactions to all of this. We call them tree huggers. Oh my gosh, to be honest, I see more people saying, "Oh, why didn't you help that poor little defenseless animal as a mountain lion is chasing a goat or a deer down?" They're like, "You're going to stand there and film it and you didn't even help it." No, I'm not, because God made them that way. That mountain lion is getting his meal so that he can survive, and the chain of evolution does, or not evolution, but the chain of, living things keeps going. That's how they were created. He's doing, or she is doing, exactly what they were meant to do. So no, I'm not going to intervene. But these are knee-jerk reactions by people who know nothing about anything. They don't even know what it's like to be responsible, probably, and raise a family and keep a job and take pride in the job that you do. I don't care if you're a custodian and you clean school bathrooms. Do the best job you can. Be the best custodian that you possibly can and take pride in your work. Because that, if you're a believer, that's what God wants you to do. That's what he commands you to do. Be the best that you can be, no matter what it is. But they want us, to take care of everybody. And as I said, one person coming into the household, two people would totally devastate a household. That could just take all of your savings. That could take all of your extra slush funds, whatever it is. It can upset the apple cart. And now you want to bring 20, 30 million people that don't belong here, can't speak English, can't really contribute anything to society when it comes to working and doing a lot of different things. We have to take on that cost as taxpayers. I don't want to pay any more in taxes. Okay. I wish we didn't pay any taxes. And now that I'm seeing all this fraud across the country, and it's probably in every state, there's probably fraud here in Missouri. But now that I'm seeing how many billions of dollars are going out the window, out the doors, through the exhaust fans, and we're still paying taxes, this is ridiculous. We should be like living tax-free in this country. If we had all of this money coming back, and there would be no excuses for bad roads, no excuse for anything that we deal with on a daily basis. But again, these are tree hugging people. They feel bad for animals more than they do human beings. They really do. And we can't pass on the thought of everybody that they're fighting for right now, all the illegals in our country. They're fighting for all of them, but they never stood up and they never fought for any of these Americans, all these families that lost young girls in their family to rape, and then they were murdered. Nobody talked about that. Only we did. And they don't care about that. They're not protesting over that. They're not protesting against the illegals that are here and that they're murderers and rapists and all these other horrific things. I don't understand. I truly don't. All I can see is I see demons walking the earth that are just doing everything and anything that they can to disrupt God's creation to the fullest extent. And I think that's where they're happiest. That's what I see happening, because none of it makes any sense ethically or any other way. It's just chaotic, and that's where these bad people thrive, is in chaos. And that's what they want, complete and utter chaos. And we just have to keep fighting back. So anyway, we're going to move on here because we got some stuff to talk about. Like I said, we already got the nurse out of the way. That one was kind of simple and easy. There's still more to talk about. We'll see where that goes. But I want to talk about Elon. I always had trouble with her name. Elian or Omar. Johan Omar. Yes.
No, Ilhan.
I don't even know what it is. Anyway, we all know who it is. Yeah, but I want to talk a little bit about her because this one really fascinates me. I'll tell you what I thought at first, but first I want to show you what happened and what I thought about it right away.
Genome must resign or face impeachment. I don't know. Resign or face. I don't know.
All right. So what did he spray on you? I don't know. Here's my first reaction to that. And again, it might sound harsh, but I don't care. I have to be honest with everyone. My first reaction was, if that was me in this day, in this environment, politically especially, I would have gotten off of that podium. I wouldn't even call that a stage. I would have got off that podium and I would have said, get me to the closest urgent care, ER, whatever you can. I want to know what this substance is, because is it going to be some kind of biological warfare, chemical agent? You don't know. You don't know any of these things. And for her to, and I saw this comment, so it wasn't mine, but I did see this comment on X earlier that said something about she walked over toward him as if she was an MMA fighter. And now that I kind of read it and heard it, I can't get that out of my head. I'm like, yeah, what are you going to do? She's going after him after he sprayed her with some mysterious substance, and she's going to act like she's a Billy Badass. I'm like, yeah, something's not adding up here. So first and foremost, I would have removed myself from that situation, and I would have went and got checked out to make sure that there wasn't anything harmful that was going to happen to me.
And gotten out of that sweater.
Yeah, and gotten out of there because it was all over, and I heard that it stunk. Now, I do know that I think Terrence Williams, who's all over X, and I think he's on Facebook and stuff as well, he kind of made some of the same comments that I did, but he went a little bit more into detail and numbered how many different things that she did wrong or should have done.
Per poison control.
And she basically, no, she didn't basically, she did. She came back at him and responded to him and just told him to F off. But she wasn't afraid to die like us cowards are. So I'm not sure what that meant, but if you truly believe in what you're doing, you probably want to live. You don't want to get dead because you want to fight your silly fight and act that way. So I don't believe for a moment that that was real. I do believe it was staged. I could be wrong. I'll put it out there. But I also saw something, and again, this is strictly something that I saw. I have not verified it. I have not researched it. Don't know if it's true or not, but I did see a picture of them two together. Supposedly, he was the same guy who sprayed her, was an employee of hers that made about $50,000 a year, if I remember the article. And he worked for her now so-called disappearing winery business. A lot of you probably heard about that too, that she had a wine business, and within a year it went from just a couple thousand to like a million to 5 million or something in worth. And now they can't find any paperwork on it at all.
There's no winery.
It's disappeared. So again, it could be legit. I don't know, but I'm going to be following that one too. Very interesting. But supposedly it's the same guy, and it sure does look like him. I saw, both. I saw the video, and I saw the picture of this guy. Again, allegedly someone who has worked with her in the past. So it very well could be a setup just to make it look as if, we're the bad guys and we're picking on her so that she can go after Donald Trump and use all of these excuses. So, hey, now.
Did you break it? I didn't do it.
My computer went totally dark on me. So anyway, that's the story on her. Again, I do not believe that for a second.
Neither does our audience.
Yeah. And then she went on to say the next day that Omar, she goes, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, having to pay for security, having the government to think about providing me security if Donald Trump wasn't in office and if he wasn't so obsessed with me. He was on stage moments before I was attacked, talking about me. Then, when asked about my attack, he said, I don't think about her. Does he not remember? Is he suffering from dementia? Those were her words. These people are so insufferable. I mean, they're talking about dementia.
They've been attacking him for 9 going on 10 years.
Well, ever since 2015, since he came down the escalator or whatever it was. But the man, I'll tell you what, if the man forgets something or says something off, as much as he works throughout the day and all the meetings, and they even said something to him on, I forget who it was the other day, that said, I know you don't sleep much. And it's true. I hear the guy only gets 2, 3, 4 hours of sleep a night, and he functions that way. He's running the country and he's doing a gangbuster of a job, but yet we're going to get on him. Well, not we, but they're going to get on him when he has a little hiccup. No, I'm not, because I haven't slept in 24 hours. You'd probably be like, dude, you got to get off the hooch. And I don't even drink. So there you go. Pretty crazy stuff. So, all right, let's jump into the Pretti stuff. Alex Pretti. First, I want you to hear what people like Ana Navarro and others were saying about him. Very short clip. They jumped the gun. As I said earlier, tree-hugging people who they act on emotion, not on fact, not on patience, waiting for things to come out. We've always talked about this. As soon as something happens, even eyewitnesses, they are the most unreliable sources of information most times, because so much happens at a very quick pace that they just don't retain a lot of stuff. And sometimes they do, but it takes a lot longer for things to start playing out in their head and things to start coming back to them. And sometimes it's other people who saw everything from a distance could be the best people that are going to give you the best information during an investigation. But anyway, they jump so fast to conclusions all the time. But this is what Ana Navarro said about Alex Pretti, who was unfortunately shot by, I believe it was Border Patrol. as we all know now, and there's going to be a big, probably a lawsuit and who knows what. But check out what she had to say about Alex.
They chose to, they killed the wrong guy, right? Because this is like the perfect guy. Alex Pretti is the guy you would want to date your daughter. The guy you would want your son to grow up to be, a decent human being who was serving humanity, serving sick veterans, who is, there is nothing that has been said about that man that isn't wonderful. And so they can't malign him. They can't malign him because we have the videos.
Okay. Yep, you're right. We do. We have the videos. But Anna, I want to ask you something. Like I ask anyone else who bashes the president of the United States of America, and you say that you hate him. Give me one reason why you hate that man. And I'm being serious here. Give me one reason that you truly would hate another human being. And when I ask this question, I'm not asking someone like Stephen Miller or someone that's in the White House who deals with Donald Trump every day. I'm asking people like me. I'm never going to probably ever have the opportunity to meet Donald Trump. I would love to. I'd love to meet Don Jr. I think Don Jr. and I would really get along because he's into hunting and fishing and all that stuff. Him and I would have a blast. But I would love to meet him. But I'll probably never get that chance. And I could never, and I wouldn't, because I don't hate anyone. But I could never, as a human being, a decent, moral human being, say that I hate anyone. I don't even know these people. I can't even say that I hate Anna. I can say that she's a fool and that she speaks a lot of, deceitful untruths. But to hate someone, you don't understand what the word hate really means. And you don't understand how cancerous it is and how it will eat you up inside, or from the inside out. It truly will. So she's talking highly of Alex. Now, I want you to listen to this guy. He's talking about Alex Pretti as well, or some people say Pretty.
Alex Pretti died as he lived, protecting his neighbors. Alex devoted his life to caring for our American veterans, nursing them back to health in the local VA. And in his final moments, Alex stood between a masked man and his neighbor, risking his life to protect hers. That is what real courage looks like. Not hiding behind a mask, not shooting a man in the back, and not lying to cover it up. In a country run by cowards, be like Alex Pretti.
Sorter.
Okay. Tammy just told me that on X, Nick Sorter is reporting that rioters are destroying the Los Angeles
ICE facility.
Yep. See, I've already said this in the show. You're out there tearing up government property that's going to cost the taxpayers more money. You guys are idiots. You're tearing up something over stuff you know nothing about. You're just out there doing it because this is what you want to do. We'll stop there for right now. So this is what everyone wants you to believe about Alex. And maybe it's true. I heard that he did work with veterans. That doesn't mean that he's not capable of doing what he did. I've said this many a time. We are all humans. A lot of people might look at someone and say, there's no way, and I'll just use myself for an example. There's no way that Lou could ever do this or that. I don't know if there's going to come a day where something clicks and goes haywire. I don't know. As long as I have my wits about me and my belief, I'm going to be fine. But all I'm saying is there's a point somewhere where you let evil into your heart and into your mind, and it's going to take you over. It will literally possess you and make you hate and do all of these crazy things that we're seeing. So this is the guy that they were talking about in action a week before he got into it again and got dead.
This is a moment the news movement filmed on January 13th in Minneapolis, showing a man who appears to be Alex Pretti interacting with federal immigration agents 11 days before Border Patrol shot and killed him. Our footage was analyzed by the BBC, whose facial recognition technology confirmed his identity to a 97% degree of accuracy. On the morning of January 13th, our team received a tip that federal agents were blocking a street at the corner of East 36 and Park Avenue in Minneapolis. We arrived around 10:15 a.m. We saw observers shouting at the agents as they walked back to their vehicles. When they started driving away, the man kicked their taillight. An agent then got out of the vehicle, grabbed him, and pushed him to the ground. During the altercation, agents fired tear gas and pepper balls into the crowd. They continued to hold the man down before they retreat and he walks away. The man in our footage is wearing a similar outfit to what Pretti was wearing on the day he was killed. What appears to be a gun is also visible above his waistband. Here, he continues to stand at the scene. On the day he was killed, the Department of Homeland Security claims Pretti, a 37-year-old ICU nurse, approached officers holding a handgun. That claim has been contradicted by analysis of bystander videos from multiple news investigations.
All right, we'll stop there. And yeah, before they start talking about the actual day that he was shot and lost his life, unfortunately, we'll see that come out. I know that the investigations by several different departments, I think the DOJ, the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, I don't know who all is doing investigations, but hopefully the truth comes out and we'll see what happens. I'm not going to jump the gun and say one way or the other. I will say that in that video, if you haven't watched it or heard already, he had his concealed weapon back here. You could call it the 6 o'clock position, but it was more like the 5 o'clock because it was kind of right there. Not in his 3 o'clock, but between 4 and 5, we would say. But it was definitely back there. You could see it when he bent over. But again, someone acting like that, how could he have avoided this? Well, first and foremost, I would say I wish they would have arrested him right then and there for what he did by damaging the vehicle, because that's not his property. He had no right to kick or break or spit on anyone. And again, the wife and I had this conversation the other day. Somebody said something about physical assault, and I was reading an article about it, and I'm like, wow, somebody, physically, punched somebody or did something, but they were using, I think, that scenario where you're getting sprayed with something like she did in the videos that we played, Omar, and they call it physical assault. Well, in my head, physical assault, I literally take it to the extreme that it means physical, like someone laid hands on you. But if you look up the definition, physical assault by law can be throwing something on someone like a substance, spitting, harassment, yelling, all of these different things. So yeah, he spit on them or the vehicle, probably the guy's back, who knows, the law enforcement officer. But I wish they would have arrested him, and maybe he would still be locked up. Maybe he wouldn't, but maybe he would be, and maybe he'd be alive today, because I don't wish this upon him. I'm not happy that the man's dead. And we might very well find out. A lot of people might get mad when they hear this, but I'm not convinced from all the videos. I played it as slow as I could in the programs that I have on my computers when I put some of my stuff together in DaVinci Resolve. I try to work through it, and I cannot see what's in his hand or where the weapon goes off or who shoots first. I just can't tell. So I hope whatever the final verdict is that it's the right one and it's, it's not just made up. And if there was a mistake made, then people need to be handled accordingly. One thing I will say, and RC is probably going to have something to say about this, but I've seen stories floating out there by two different people, and it took everything I had to not get into the conversation. But they were talking about he was carrying a 6-hour P320. We all know, well, if you're a gun person, you know that it's been alleged, it's been accused of going off uncommanded, which means it just, for whatever reason, it just boom, and nobody touches the trigger. And I'm going to say this, I own two P320s. I've never had one go off uncommanded. It's only fired when I've pulled the trigger. I've watched many videos on this, and no one is going to change my mind. Every video that I seen, I saw something that wasn't right. Like someone doing something with their holster that had, it was a holster with an optic on it with, it's a light. I got them on mine, whether it's a stream light or a surefire, whatever. You put a little light there on the under part, you can turn a light on at night and be ready to go and see what you're going to shoot at. A lot of times it's in these types of holsters. So that's being thrown out there already, trying to intermix it with, oh, that's why it went off. And then they thought he shot and then they shot him. But it might come to something to where someone pulled a trigger. So anyway, I haven't seen anything in any of the lawsuits that have been taken up against 6 Hour or anyone else that has proven anything. The U.S. Air Force, same situation. Oh, they swore up and down that thing went off on its own when he set it down. Come to find out, someone actually fired that weapon and killed a United States Air Forceman or an airman. So we can't be so quick to jump to conclusions. I'm not going to die on that hill with the 6 Hour P320. I've never had any issues with them. I've thrown the thing, dropped the thing. I can't get the thing to fire. So it is what it is. And that's where I stand on that. And by the way, I do own two staccatos. And that's probably the best weapons I've ever owned, a Staccato XC and a Staccato C, which is my everyday carry now. So, all right. Again, I wish they would have arrested him and held him so that he wouldn't be dead, as I said. What could he have done differently? He had a Second Amendment right, I believe, in the state of Minnesota to conceal carry. So here in Missouri, I can conceal carry and I don't have to have a permit on me. I don't even have to have a permit anymore or anything like that. So what I do carry a permit for, and I keep it, it's a state of Missouri permit. I keep it active because when we travel to places like South Dakota, North Carolina, red states that reciprocate with concealed carry laws in Missouri. So in other words, I can go to Missouri, I can go to Indiana, different places, and I can carry there legally. But I have to have that ID card. But in my home state, I don't have to have that. So I heard that he didn't have any identification on him or his permit, which made it illegal. Secondly, I would never, if I was a drinking person, I would, and it's also against the law here in Missouri, I'm only speaking for Missouri, to take that weapon concealed or otherwise, it could be open carry here, we can do open carry as well, into a bar situation where you're going to sit down and have, and drink and probably get a buzz or get drunk. You don't take weapons to those types of places. You might not do something foolish, even though you have that weapon on you and you're getting a little tipsy and you call for a ride share or something and they come pick you up and take you home and you might do nothing wrong and you got that gun tucked away. But what if someone else somehow gets a hold of it, or you're open carry and it's not secured like it should be in a duty 2 or a duty 3 type holster where no one can just grab it out without pushing a special button on it like I carry on my belts. These are the kinds of things that you have to take into consideration. Could he have avoided this? I would say, number one, if he knew he was going to a protest, which is obvious now, everyone tried to make us believe that it wasn't going to happen that way. He wasn't there for that. But we seen that he was an instigator. He should have never had that weapon with him. He could have avoided this, even throwing him down. And then let's just say that even if he did have the weapon, which he did, and he didn't resist, he'd still be alive. So everyone's going to say, well, they didn't have to shoot him. They didn't have to shoot him 5, 6 times, whatever it was. They didn't have to shoot him. No, they didn't. Maybe. But guess what? He shouldn't have resisted. And I teach my kids this. When I talk to anybody, I always say we have to go to the root of the problem. If I have a weed in my yard, I can keep cutting that dandelion or whatever it is from as far as I can see it above the ground and chop it down. What's going to happen? It's going to grow back. Why? Because I didn't pull the root, all of the root, the whole root out of the ground. I had to kill that weed completely, remove it. That's how you do it. But again, he did not and should not have went there. So we had to go to the root of the problem, him. He was going there because he was unhappy, and apparently he disliked law enforcement or what they were doing. So, yeah, I might have been legally and lawfully carrying a weapon because the state of Minnesota said I could, but I didn't have my ID on me. And why would I even take that? Going to a protest. And if I was going to, I would have avoided anything that even resembled what he was involved in. So the root of the problem is what he himself chose to inject himself into. And that was chaos. And chaos followed him. And that was his demise. He chose to put himself in that position. He doesn't go there. He doesn't do any of those things. We're not talking about Alex Pretti anymore. Alex is still alive. His family still has a son. If he had kids, dad's still around. You have to think about these things before you go there. That's what Alex could have done, and he'd still be alive. We can't run around saying, well, this, and that, and then they shot him dead. It's everyone else's fault. How about we start with, what did Alex do to get himself into that position? I wouldn't have let my kid go and do something like that. I would have said, you stay as far away from that nonsense as you can. Okay? And I hate to even say it this way, but this is how I truly feel. If you really feel, and I said the same thing to the people who keep calling the J6ers the insurrection on January 6th. If you truly believe that that was an insurrection, you're an idiot and a fool, because no one went up there armed to the hilt with AR-style rifles to take over the government, because they could have if they wanted to. Okay, because you didn't have anybody else there. They could have took over the Capitol building easily with that amount of people that were there. Easily. We see it in third world countries. It would have happened here easily. The same thing that happened there. If you, as a protester, really feel that we're the Gestapo and that we're Nazis and that we're snatching people up off the streets and disappearing them, why are you not really doing what I would do if I truly believe something like that? You see, I'm trying to be careful here, but you understand what I'm saying? It's like you're not dressed for the dance that you're trying to make us believe is really going on in the auditorium. Something's missing here. You're only showing up in just street clothes and whistles and, signs. So if it's really as bad as you're wanting us to believe it is, you sure aren't acting and playing the part very well, because you're not armored to the hilt and taking care of business. Because, man, if it's the Gestapo and the Nazis here in America, we got a problem. And that's all I got to say about the matter. It truly is. If you You want to blame everyone else for bad things that happen to you because you put yourself in a position to have that happen to you. You have no one to blame but yourself. Remove yourself from these situations. If you know for a fact that something could be bad could happen, don't impede them. Don't yell and scream and spit on them or do anything or throw anything at them. Remove yourself from the situation and handle it a different way. Start a podcast. Talk about to people. Run for office. Try to change the laws. Do something fruitful as opposed to, I'm going to go out and get myself dead because I'm stupid and I hate them so much, or at least I think I do. I'm going to go out there and act like a fool. And it really amazes me when I see these people fighting and resisting. What are you really accomplishing? What do you think's going to happen? You think you're going to get away? You got like 5 or 6 guys on you and they're handcuffing you and you're still, I don't know. I don't understand the, what could go through someone's mind, that state of mind, because you're totally off your rocker. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't know. I agree. I wouldn't trust him on my team. I agree. He shouldn't be a nurse. Well, here's the thing. He was a nurse too. And we talked about that one nurse earlier. Cook, Melinda, I think her name was Cook, that got fired from VCU and probably going to lose her license to ever practice as a nurse and all that. And she should. I mean, unfortunately, I hope that she can find something else and she can get her heart right and get her mind right. But you can't put someone like that in a situation like that. His was a little bit different. And I only say that because, at least unless something comes out that I haven't seen or heard yet, to where he would do something like this to a veteran that would come in there to his administration location that maybe was MAG or something, and he wouldn't treat them the same. I haven't heard anything like that. It from what I know right now, and I'm just being, honest, this is all I know. He acted out like this on the street. And if he did it at work, then yeah, he's no better than she is. But I'm going to say that she's even worse. And I wouldn't be surprised to find that maybe she went somewhere and probably protested at some point as well. But we have these kind of people all around us every day. You just don't know it. And on the same hand or same token, these people have me around them all the time, and they don't know anything about me. I mean, I'm wherever I go, driving down the highway, going to the store, whatever. People don't know that I'm concealed carry and that, I'm aware of my situational awareness and all of that, my surroundings. And they also don't know that I'm thinking totally different than they probably are when it comes to politics and everything else. But they don't need to know that. And I don't need to share that with them. There's no reason to. So therefore, I take a moral stance and a logical stance, a practical stance. And I'm like, I don't go to Walmart or wherever I go to pronounce my beliefs, or I'm not talking about religious now, I'm talking about political, to talk about my political beliefs or anything else. It's none of their business. And why would I inject myself into that situation unnecessarily? Because no one there is provoking me. They're just there. But if I go in and start yelling and saying things, now I've interjected myself into something and we're going to have problems. Joe says a good tree bears good fruit and a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit. He has a bad tree and his fruit was bad indeed. When a tree bears bad fruit, it is cut down. Yes, it's useless. Great point. Love that. I got it. So I was telling her that I dropped it down off the screen.
But yeah, apparently I am fired.
That is, she's over looking at her phone, so I thought maybe I would, help her do her job. I was looking
at the Melinda Cook check.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Good Lord.
Tammy was also telling me a few moments ago, too, we're going to start wrapping this up. But she said that even CNN was admitting that they were going too far out there in Los Angeles at the ICE facility. So CNN, I don't know. It shouldn't. We shouldn't be in a position where we say, "Hey, CNN or MSNBC or MS News, whatever it's called now." We should all be on the same page when it comes to stuff like this. I don't think that anyone on our side should be talking smack. And by the way, if people want to say, hey, Donald Trump and Tom Homan are, backing down or slacking off a little bit, and changing the process up in Minneapolis on how they do things. They got Bavino out of there and stuff like this. I really don't care. The end result is I want the bad hombres out of our country. I want all of the illegals that do not belong here, whether they've committed another crime or not. Doesn't matter. If the only crime they ever committed was just coming into the country illegally, guess what? I want you gone. Come back in the right way next time, like everyone else did. And that's what you should do. And that's how I feel about it. So if you get caught up, you get removed. That's what I voted for.
Do you see that little, I've been sending so many little clips. I don't know if I sent it to you or not. It was, I think it was Becky Weiss. I follow her. And she said, she goes, here's an example. She goes, somebody comes in and says, I put 12 bottles of water in your fridge. One of them's poisoned. Well, first of all, I don't have room for 12 bottles of water. Why did you put 12 bottles of water in my fridge? Well, I brought you 12 bottles of water. Okay, well, which one's poisoned? Well, I can't tell you that. Okay, well, I'm going to have to dump them all out. You're going to waste all that water?
Yeah. You did send that one to me. Yeah, I saw that.
We don't know which one's bad. Bye-bye.
Mike Lindell for governor, Minnesota. Yeah, that's good. Whatever religion y'all are. We're Baptist. So definitely not Catholic. Not going there. I will not comment on that. Something major has changed in the last 30 years. You would hardly ever, if ever, see this biased reporting and no lying would be tolerated. Look at what they did to Nixon for lying and later on Clinton. Yeah. Well, we used to have the Walter Cronkite of the world. We had a lot of good reporters back in the day when TV was still just black and white, and they would just tell it like it was. And we've gotten away with that, and we talk about this a lot. And I don't know, what was it called? The Man Show?
Yes.
With Adam Carolla, who is conservative. He's on our side. And then you had Jimmy Kimmel was always on there.
They were raunchy.
Yeah, they were raunchy. And I've said this about Adam. Even though he's conservative, some of the things that they did when they would come up behind women and make, these insinuate like cucumbers and all kinds and blackface, they're both in the same level as far as I'm concerned. So I don't care if Adam's one of us or not, but him and Jimmy Kimmel, these people, talk about how bad Trump is, but yet they never look back at what did you used to do, Jimmy? What kind of a guy were you that you were on something called the Man Show and you made fun of people and you treated women as if they were like second, type people. It blows my mind that we deal with this kind of stuff. So Dan Rather, yeah, he was Dan Rather with the Bush documents right before the election was the beginning of the end. Yep. Cronkite. Yep. So, but yeah, things have changed, and but don't be surprised because this is where we're at in the world, and it's not going to get any better. And I laugh. I do. I say this all the time. I follow a lot of people, and a lot of people follow me back. And there's people out there who believe that if Thomas Massey was to become president, things would be so much better. No, they're not. Thomas Massey is going to be a disappointment, like just about every other politician out there. There's a lot of things that I could agree with him on. Rand Paul, same type of situation. They say some really good things. Josh Hawley of Missouri, he says some really good things, but I don't agree with everything. And you all have never, ever heard me say that the Republicans were the answer to all of our problems. I've never said that because I don't believe that. I don't know that any party would be better than anyone else. I think we would still have the same problems. You could put the libertarians in charge, and I know they will just go crazy if they hear stuff like this, but they think that the Libertarian Party is what's best and they have the best ideas. Well, if they had the majority and say there were no conservatives, we'd still be in the same boat today against the socialists that are trying to take over our country. You could take the independents. You're still going to have the same problem because independents can go either way. They can go Democrat, they can go Republican, they can go blah, blah, blah. They can go anywhere. And if you really think about it, libertarians can go either way. They can go Democrat, they can go Republican, but somehow they have it in their heads. A lot of people have it in their heads that they're just right straight down the line and we're what's best for the country. And to be quite honest, there's really nobody that's best for the country. Donald Trump is not the best thing that we could have outside of having a morally, straight guy who had no sin, nothing in his past. That would be the best. But I also said that Donald Trump is exactly what we need for this country at this point in time because of who he is and what he is and how he is. So we have to be honest, and we can't let ourselves get caught up in this, that the Republicans, the conservatives, the MAGA are the best. And we definitely know the Democrats aren't. And I'm seeing a lot of libertarian talk, and I just don't want to hear the nonsense. So you believe in your party, you believe in your candidate who's a libertarian, just like I believe in my party and my conservatism and all of that, and my people and the Democrats and the socialists, they all have their own beliefs. So we're not going to change this. We're not going to vote our way out of this. We're always going to have problems. We're always going to disagree with government because we have let government run us since the beginning of time, since the days of Jesus all the way up until now. The governments have been corrupt. They always will be. I'm sorry. It's never going to change. You can talk a good talk, whatever. It doesn't faze me. It doesn't impress me. It's not going to happen. And the best we can do is call out all of this foolishness and the nonsense for what it is. And we have to take personal responsibility in our lives. And our politicians need to start doing the same thing. And this is the only way that we can make things better for the short term, is that we have to realize that a lot of the things that we're dealing with in this country, in this world for that matter, are self-inflicted. We bring this upon ourselves, just like Alex Pretti did, just like Renee Good did. And let's be very clear, I'm not glad that either one of them lost their lives. I am not glad at all. And it's just one of those situations where you put yourself there and it happened. You didn't do what you needed to do to stay alive. You made that choice. You were the root of the problem, and you chose to go a different direction, and it cost you your life. And now everyone else is back here fighting over it, and it's causing more chaos because everyone's pointing a finger at everybody else. So stay off the streets, stay out of the operations. Don't be a Don Lemon. Don't be an Alex Pretti. Don't be a Renee Good. There's other ways to fight these battles. And as I said before, if you truly believe that Nazi Germany and the Gestapo are here in the United States right now, taking over and snatching people up and putting them in concentration camps and burning them in ovens, then I would fully suspect and expect to see you fully dressed in military garb to the T, ready to go to fight for your country. And I don't see you doing that. So your heart's not in it, and your head's definitely not in it because you're out making a fool of yourself. Because you know that these aren't Nazis, this isn't the Gestapo, and that you're acting like fools because you're told to, or maybe in some cases you're paid to. And that's all I can say about it. Make good, sound decisions, have good judgment, moral conduct, straighten yourselves out, start thinking about what you're doing, start researching and verify, and quit following all of these nut job people out there. And I want to say one more thing, and then I'm going to go through some stuff in the chat, and then we're going to wrap this up. I know a lot of people, and I've posted on X about this several times. A lot of people are talking about all the things that are going on out there in the chaos and the protests and the riots. And I want you socialist Democrats out there to remember one thing. Those of you who follow the socialist part of the party, remember who's out there on the front lines acting like fools, getting yourselves in some cases beat up, sometimes getting yourself physically hurt, going to jail, getting felony convictions or charges against you. You're doing it because of all of the people who represent you in these states and cities are telling you that all of these bad people are coming in and kidnapping people. Do you see any of these politicians, any of these city so-called leaders, but they're actually servants? Do you see any of these people out there fighting with you? Are they kicking any of these cars? Are they spitting on any of these federal agents or local law enforcement? Are they sacrificing everything that they have for your cause? It's actually their cause. They've drugged you into this cause, and you now believe that it's yours. They're not out there fighting because they know that they'll end up in jail. They know that they might get dead. They know that they might get hurt. You see Gavin Newsom out there. You see Tim Walz out there. You see Jacob Frey out there. You see AOC out there. You see Omar out there. Jayapal, you see any of these people out there? No, you're not going to see those people out there because they don't care about you. You're out there doing their dirty work. You're the minions. You're the demons that are walking around, tearing everything up and causing chaos. And it's all going to fall back on you. They're going to say, well, we never told you to do that. We just told you that the Gestapo and the Nazis were here and they're snatching people up off the streets and kidnapping them and they're disappearing. And you're stupid enough to believe it. You're also stupid enough to believe that Donald Trump is up there trying to take you out of this country and he's a white supremacist. Everything Donald Trump does, he's doing it for the whole country. He's doing it for everybody. He doesn't sit in his Oval Office or anywhere else and make a plan and say, well, I'm going to do this for the white folk. To hell with them black people and the Mexicans. We don't need them. Every decision that man tries to make, and some of them are very democratic decisions and policies. There's a lot of things that he says like, hey, come back over. No, that's a little too far. Don't do anything like that, especially with the credit card stuff. No, I'm not in agreement with that. Let's not do that. Donald Trump is thinking about what's best for the whole country, no matter who you are. If you're an American, he's trying to do what's best for you and make things more affordable. And if you can't see that, I can't help you. I can lead you to the water, but I can't make you drink. That's up to you to figure it out on yourself. So, all right. That's about all I got. Like I said, if you want to stay alive, don't be like Alex Pretti. Don't be like Renee Good. Don't do stupid things that are going to get you dead. I don't know how else to put it. I really do pray for their families. And I know that they're like anyone else. We like to watch the first 48 series on is it A&E or whatever, where they have these investigations. It's usually in Oklahoma or Georgia now, because a lot of the cities won't sign a contract anymore because it makes their cities and their state look bad. But you watch all of these shows, and at the end, you always see where they'll start, the family to talk about the children that got killed, or the person in their family, their loved one. And they'll say, oh, he was a good boy and he had aspirations to be a singer or a rapper, or he was going to go be to a trade school and he was going to do this. they're always good boys. They're always good kids. And I sometimes wonder, and I'm not being facetious in any way, but I sometimes wonder, how did you really feel that way when you knew they were out there selling drugs and doing all these bad things? Because where were you as a parent? Why weren't you talking to them, your loved ones? I don't care if it's a husband. I don't care if it's a wife, if it's a son, or if it's a daughter, an aunt, an uncle. It doesn't matter. You got to talk to these people and tell them to tone it down, both sides. You can't go out there and keep spewing these lies and this propaganda and expect anything to get any better. It's not going to happen until you stop and you start getting your wits about you and realize that you're causing all of this chaos. No one else is causing it. ICE isn't causing it. The Border Patrol isn't causing it. Nobody in law enforcement. Donald Trump isn't doing it. He's doing exactly what we voted him into office to do, and that was clean this mess up that Joe Biden created. And that's where we're at. So anyway, what to say and listen to Lou and President of the United States, Tammy.
You missed a whole a whole series of stuff.
She can be first president of the United States to do pressers by intercom. Oh my goodness. Wow. All right. Anybody have any questions? Yeah, don't get dead. Don't get dead. Anybody have any questions before we wrap it up tonight? By the way, if you're over on X and you want to come in here and I don't know, you want to, I guess, express a different opinion, whatever it is, we'd love to have you as long as you keep it respectful. But you can always go down to the live chat on X and join us anytime. I would much prefer that you came over to Rumble. It's free and it doesn't cost you a dime. Create your own little channel, and then you can go to the Lou's Views podcast, follow us, and hit that like and thumbs up button and all of that and follow. And then and hit the notification button too, so that whenever we do go live or we post something, you'll get a notification. At least you should. And that way you can know to come watch the show or see what we put up there. And I think on February 4th next week, they're going to start shorts, which if you've seen reels or shorts like on TikTok or Facebook and stuff like that, Rumble is also going to start that on February 4th. So we'll be able to download shorts. You'll be able to see that. And I do have one paid subscriber. I don't know if she's listening tonight, but she did go through locals and signed up as a monthly subscriber. So I'm going to be putting content on Rumble that only she can see because, hey, I got to do something extra for those who are supporting me. I think that's the right thing to do. So she'll get to find out a little bit more about us, a little bit more about the family, about what we're about, who, and different things like that that you don't really get to see on the show. So we'll be looking into some of the shorts. I'll be putting up some small videos on locals. And as I said, they'll be able to see stuff on Rumble as well, the paid subscribers that other people can't. So anyway, with all that being said, yeah, there's a lot of good things happening on Rumble. I am so grateful that I invested in it and seeing the growth and things that are starting to happen. There's a lot of great shows on this. So if, again, you're over on X and you haven't been over on Rumble, check it out. It's really worth it. It's the home of free speech. And by the way, I get this notification because I've been going live the last 3 or 4 shows on YouTube, and they keep sending me this thing saying, if you ever make any money off of this in the future, it can't be monetized because you're using music on there at the beginning that is like has royalty. Well, guess what? I literally got it off of Artlist, and I have the contract right here that says that I am legal to have that music. So YouTube, stick it. I don't even worry about them people. I just laugh every time I get the email from them. So, but anyway, long story short, the music that I use, I did purchase it. I have the rights to it. So that makes me legal. So YouTube, I don't know, do what you got to do. But anyway, come on over to Rumble, and we'd love to have you. Matter of fact, I'll play this little commercial, and then we're going to wrap it up. So let me do this one about Rumble here. I had this guy. I don't know if you guys heard this. There's a new commercial on Fox News right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's talking about all the things that Trump has done and all that. That is Ed Bishop. He's the same guy who did my commercials for my show. This guy's got a great voice. He's done stuff for The Blaze, Glenn Beck. He's done a lot of big jobs, but check him out.
You're listening to Lose Views. Make sure to watch the Lose Views podcast on Rumble.
I like this one too. I don't know, just playing around a little bit, guys, gals.
You've been listening to Lose Views, where woke ideology gets destroyed. If you too are tired of the woke mob telling you how to think and live, then visit our website at loseviewspodcast.com. Start following Lou on X at Lou's Show and watch the Lose Views podcast on Rumble. Thanks for listening to Lose Views.
Government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
I like that. That's Ed Bishop. That guy, he's a professional. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Great voice, but thought I'd play that for y'all. But anyway, thanks for watching tonight. Is there anything in the comments here real quick? I'd love it. Good night, everybody. Steve, thank you for showing up. We're going to try to do another night during the week, and it's not just Fridays, but I'm slowly getting back into that. So, but yeah, glad everyone liked those commercials. I'll probably play more of that. We're over on Spotify, people. I've said this before. If you have not went to Spotify and looked us up, just go over there and follow us on Spotify. You're able to, it's over there in video format as well. But you also have the option to listen to any show as you're driving down the road or just sitting in your chair and you don't want to watch a video, anything like that. But you can go to loseviewspodcast.com. I have a whole website there with all the shows on there as well. Rumble is our home channel, and we just use X as an extra platform. So, but anyway, thank you all very much. Hope you enjoyed the show. Tammy for President of the United States. Yes.
No.
Thank you, Joe. Tell Rhonda that we said hello, and God bless all of you. And man, prayers for everyone that are in need. And yep, take care, RC. All of you. God bless each and every one of you. Take care. Good night, my friends.